there is Kennedy Akompreku Agyapong. Very, very interesting candidate. His last performance shocked many people. Many people didn't think that he would do that well, but he did. Can he repeat that performance or can he do better than that? That's a matter of speculation, but he's in the race. And what he appears to offer is a certain sense that it is private business which will drive the economy. That is the sense you get from listening to him and so on. He also appears to be a darling of the masses of the party and the darling of the masses outside the party. Because they see themselves in him. I mean, I saw an Uber driver last week and who swore that he is not an MPP person. That if Kennedy Agyapong is elected as flag bearer, he will join the MPP and campaign for him. And what were his reasons? He says, he speaks like me. You know, there's an Uber driver, he says, the man speaks like me. So they see themselves in him. How that would materialize in terms of votes and so on is also another matter. At this stage, we can only deal with speculation and so on. Then there is former Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia. Of course, having been Vice President twice and presidential candidate once, I think we know his spots. His spots are not new. You know, he's displayed them sufficiently. Everybody knows what he's capable of and what he's not capable of and so on. He's not a new quantity, you understand? And being an old quantity, the question that arises is that what will be new this time? What is going to be new about him this time? It's a legitimate question. He hasn't answered that question yet, but we're all waiting. In the next few months, people will be answering all these very important, questions. There's been some speculation about the fact that the former president is not in his camp, but it's pure speculation. I cannot say for a fact whether the former president is in his camp or not, but we've all heard about that speculation. Now, if it turns out that the former president has decamped, what are the likely consequences of that on his campaign and so on? One of the people that I used to think was a shining star in the MPP, I think has done some damage to himself, substantial damage to himself. I'm speaking about Kwabena Agyapong. Why do I say so? In the last contest, he came up as a man who was preaching values, a man who was concerned about decency, a man who was worried that the nation was pursuing a certain path which was likely to lead to doom. He was worried about the domination of the party by a certain cabal and so on, So he was refreshing, most refreshing. He stood for values. He was an icon of the reformers in the party and so on. And then he lost. In the first round or so, he lost. Hail Presto, in the next moment, he had joined the very people he was blaming for the state of the party and the state of the nation.
There's an explanation for that.
I'll be happy to hear that explanation.
His explanation is that as a party person, he is enjoined both morally and per the party's constitution to join the winning team. It doesn't matter how you feel or think about the person.
Is that not an unfortunate statement?
That's what he said, yes.
Is that not?
He said he didn't have any option.
Master, is that not an unfortunate statement for anybody aspiring for national leadership to make?
Why?
It's a most unfortunate statement. So you're saying that because you belong to a party, even if the party is driving the country into a ditch, you will help the party to drive the country into a ditch. Is that a very edifying statement? That party loyalty counts more than anything else.
Yes.
Can you say that? Can you believe that? That's the most. I don't think that you've done him any good.
He was on a platform yesterday, and this question came up. He was asked.
And that was his answer?
Yes.
Oh,
I heard
my
it
goodness.
very clearly.
Oh, my goodness.
Loud and clear.
Well,
He said, in fact, it even surprises him that people are asking him this question. That as a patriotic member of the party, once a leader is elected, there's nothing about what I think or feel about somebody. There's a new leader. Follow the leader. Leader, no road.
If you think that that leader is demented, if you think that that leader has fascist tendencies, yes. If you think that that leader is incompetent and so on, you still support him on the basis of party
That's
narrative.
The popular choice and will of the people. Your opinions don't matter anymore. Your feelings and opinions don't matter.
Well,
campaign for the person.
If people think like this,
and his argument is that tomorrow, if he becomes a leader of the new patriotic party, he doesn't want anybody's decision to be informed by what they think about him, so that he's there. Follow me.
Okay.
Yes.
But then that's the problem.
Yes.
Then we should not be surprised that Hitler emerged as a leader. I mean, if this is the mentality, then we should not be surprised that Hitler emerged as an elected popular leader, yes, and destroyed the world.
Loyalty to party first.
Loyalty to party and so on. It's a very dangerous phenomenon, you know. But that's his problem. Now, as you say, these questions were put to him.
Yes.
Now he has to justify, what he did.
In fact, he thinks it's a needless question.
Yeah, but he's not the world.
Yes.
He's just one person out of billions of people who inhabit this earth.
Yes.
And those who think that it's a question which deserves answers will continue to pose that question.
Yeah.
And he will have to justify it. He have to reconcile his positions, I mean, I feel very sad that somebody like him, who appeared to be a very bright star, has found himself in this bind. You understand? Then there is this gentleman who became Minister of Agriculture. What's his name? Brian Agyapong.
Brian Agyapong, yes. Dr. Brian Agyapong.
I don't know him well.
Okay.
I'm quite honest about it. I don't know him well.
Okay.
He had a brief stint at the Ministry of Agriculture, and his stint at the Ministry of Agriculture was so brief that I think it's even unfair to assess him on the basis of his performance at that ministry. That ministry didn't do well. I mean, under NPP didn't do well at all. Everybody knows. The statistics speak about it and so on. But he appears to have access to huge resources.
He's a businessman.
Yeah, he appears to have access to huge resources which may count in his favor in a contest like this. Okay. But beyond the resources, you need to have also a certain gravitas when it comes to grassroots work and so on. I'm not sure about him. You understand? In the heady days of Blood and Thunder, he was not there. People like Dambotri and others were in the trenches. Feàr Jaku was in the trenches. I think more or less, he's a relatively newcomer. And how that plays out, I don't know. I'm not going to predict. It seems to me that if you're looking for a unifier in the party, it's Mr. Dynamo. He's a unifier. He's not given to vitriolics. I've never heard him insult anybody and so on. He's quite a gentleman, and those are his strong points. His weakest point is his inability to mobilize resources, I think. So he has also declared. And then there is my friend, Feàr Jaku, who has been in the trenches for a very long time, and who even as the head of a bank in New Jersey, was the head of a bank in New Jersey. I visited him at home, and I was amazed at the affluence around him. I mean, even the security you had to go through to get to him and so on in New Jersey. And I thought
Bank of America, is it?
Yeah. And I thought that, look, if it was just wealth that he was looking for, if it was just affluence he was looking for, he needn't come back to Ghana and participate in the politics. Because he was living very, very well and large in New Jersey when I visited him. I visited him with the late Charles Baine, you know, and I've been in touch with him since then. So he's not one who appears to want to use politics to amass wealth and so on. He's past that stage. I don't think that is one. I think he's one who is committed to principles and so on. But unfortunately, he hasn't done very well in this context, you know. And there is something about him which is shocking for me. This is a gentleman that everybody, almost everybody agrees, will be a fantastic national chairman. In fact, I saw a video of him addressing some party loyalists and so on. They were all in unison chanting that he should be the next party chairman. But he doesn't appear to want to be the chairman. His eyes are fixated on the presidential candidature. Why? I don't know. Because I've spoken to many people in the party and they say that, look, if only he would opt to become national chairman, it would be easy. He can win so easily. But he doesn't want it, you know, and that's entirely his business. You know, it's not my business. If I were to listen, and if he were to take my advice, it would have been that he should contest for the national chairmanship position. But who am I? I'm a nobody. My words don't matter and so on. So fine. Okay. So he will contest. He makes a point that his primary focus is on return to the values of the party. Sometimes I really wonder what those values are because they're articulated in different ways by different people and so on. So I don't see a coherent set of values, you know, but he may have his own ideas about the values and all. But then there are others who are likely to emerge. I mean, he's mentioned a number of names. I mean, I'm hearing Joe Gatti, for example. He's also contested on a number of occasions. His scores have never been good, you know, and if he's coming back...
You know, interestingly, he's also one of those who's been talked into, you know, trying the chairmanship position.
I've heard that. I've heard that people think that if Boakye Jaku would not accept to be chairman,
Joe Gatti,
then Joe Gatti may be, you know... But Joe Gatti has been in the trenches for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Joe Gatti was in the trenches from the late 1980s and took very active part in the struggles and so on. He didn't play a frontline role, but he played a very important part. And he knows the party like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Gatti worked with people like B.J. Darocha and so on. So he knows the party history, he knows the party tradition. He's a reasonable person. Joe Gatti, I think, is a very reasonable person and so on. So he's also, if he wants to join the race, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know. There are others who joined or attempted to join the race whose names I'm not hearing. There's a guy, I think he's called Poku. Something Poku. He starts himself as an energy expert.
Comrade Poku. He's an energy expert, yes. But
he's not in the race.
Yeah,
now.
he's not in the race this time.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
He's not in the race. In fact, he's declared his support for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So all of these things.